We'll have the next presentation by Harjyot Soni, who leads the enterprise support team in India, where he is responsible for providing the highest level of support to their customers. He has more than 27 years of experience in delivering project support and solutions across various industries in leadership position, leading projects and support in telecom, railways, defense, central government, as well as large corporates. Prior to joining AWS, Harjyot was CTO for Wireline Network in Reliance Communication, delivering national projects for telecom. Can we welcome Harjyot with a big round of applause, please?
I just want to make sure. I think that was a great panel discussion, although I still want to know how you distributed 800 laptops into weeks, but we'll do that later on. We have been talking a lot about what's the talent requirement when you move from on-premise to the cloud. I come from support, so I'll talk about what we see of the talent that you're acquiring, what they're doing on the cloud, and the gaps we're seeing in their skills. Right? So that's what I'm going to focus more on. As I start, let me just skip to what exactly are the customer's requirements on support. We see that on cloud there are different persona of customers. You have customers who are experimenting with some very basic stuff on the cloud. You have customers who are running very important production workloads in the cloud. Like for example, maybe a 𝗧𝗵𝗲 or a Swiggy or HDFC Life have very critical workloads, but there's a developer sitting somewhere trying to experiment, spending $100 on the cloud. So they have different needs on support, right? You have at one point you need a small query has to be answered, whereas you need a proactive consulting on the architecture. Right? You need support to help with some thing that is broken down, but there's no SLA worries. But there is another spectrum of people who have something which breaks down, needs an engineer to be there immediately. Right? So you have this spectrum of customers who need different types of support. In AWS, you actually can run on AWS without any support. You don't say you need to have support. To address this, there are different types of support that we offer. It starts from a reactive kind of support, wherein it is called a business support, wherein if you have something broken down, we offer different types of SLAs from it. Things like production system is down, we offer a response in 1 hour. To proactive support, wherein we guide customers on how to operate better on the cloud, and both from the perspective of operations, architecture, running your major events and stuff like that. So the enterprise support, and that's the team which I represent. What are the challenges that we are seeing on the cloud? It's already kind of agreed that people are saying that cloud is the next thing, right? There's already a buy-in at the CXO level where people are saying that everything has to now finally transform and move to the cloud. But 51% of them are also saying that there's a big implementation challenge in the cloud. You're already there, but when you want to implement a new technology, they are seeing issues. So what are the kind of issues they are seeing, right? You're building applications that need to be cloud native or cloud supported, right? That's a different kind of architecture discussion that you need to have. You need security to be implemented on the cloud, which is not as simple as the one that you were doing on-premise, because the technology on cloud changes very frequently. Another very important thing is cost efficiency and TCO on the cloud. I'm going to take a minute and talk about that. When you come from an on-premise cloud, you have already bought the hardware. It's always going to be there. But on cloud, you're getting charged per second. Right? You can just switch off the system when you go home. And next year when you turn it on, only then the billing starts, so you save money. But is your application ready to kind of support that architecture? I'm not sure. Right? So that's the kind of things that you need specialized skills to be able to operate on the cloud. There was a survey done for SMBs wherein it was found that 40% of SMBs said that the skill is outdated. They have people, but the skill that they carry is not relevant to the cloud today. Okay. Because of this skill gap, what happens is that there are delays in their transformation journeys to the cloud. That happened. About 38% were lagging behind. 14% they had cost overrun because they were delayed by about a quarter or so. The cost optimization piece is something which is again there. 30% of the cloud spend is actually being wasted. Right? So you are actually running a server or a machine on the cloud, which is operating at 5% of CPU utilization, wherein you could actually take, in cloud it's all flexible, right? You could actually downgrade from a bigger machine to a smaller machine by just one click. You don't need to go and provision hardwares, but nobody's taking action on that because you don't have the skill to understand the kind of problem that people are facing there. When I looked at the stat, we thought that, from a support perspective, what do we see? So we did some analysis globally, and we also did some analysis in country also. And we did a survey of some of the customers. So one of the customers that we picked up, we found the customer was opening about 1,800 cases on us, okay, in a period of 6 months. So usually you will open a case because you have something which is broken down, and that's the assumption at least I will have. If something is not working, I'm opening a support case to go and seek help. But to our surprise, we found that 46% of cases that were opened were for a fundamental question that the customer was asking. They didn't know how to do something very basic on the cloud. We thought maybe it's our geography. When we went global, we realized people open about 1.2 million cases on AWS support on an annual basis. 53% of cases are actually a question, right? So just imagine 600,000 cases being opened to people because they don't have the skill to answer a basic fundamental question. So we thought we'll do a bit of I wanted to go to this slide and show you. We thought that, what kind of questions they're asking. Put a context here. So this EC2 is actually our servers, right? This is our database, okay? On a server, the person is asking a question, how do I connect to my machine in the cloud? So I was thinking that, if we have been able to spin the machine in the cloud, why can't you connect to it, right? So they're asking a question, very, very simple question on that, right? The database questions are that, my application is having a timeout. If you are a database engineer, this is like absolute 101. And there are like hundreds of questions being asked in that kind of dimension. You stored something on the cloud, you don't know how to move from one point to another point in the cloud. That's the kind of question they're asking support to go advise them, right? So you have gone out, you've acquired the best possible skill, but you've not trained them enough to be able to do well in the cloud. So that's what I'm trying to explain here, right? I also put in these things called Amazon EKS and ECS, which is a bit more advanced technology, which is containers. And then we were thinking that in containers, this is an advanced technology. Somebody is able to use containers, should definitely be able to use this better than a level 100 kind of stuff, right? But not. They're asking things like, the notebook has failed to correct the unhealthy instances. This is level 100. If you've read the book, this should be in the first page of the book, right? What we then did was that we partnered with the training and certification team, and we said that what is the impact of enablement on all of this, right? So we carried out some experiments, and we saw that when we went and we did a proper digital or in-classroom training for the people who are operating in the cloud, there was a 27% reduction immediately on those kind of cases that happened, okay? And I want to get back to the previous slide here. In support, we have these different categories of support that you can, different categories of questions you can ask. You have a production incident. I'm supposed to respond back in 15 minutes to the person who's opening the support case. But if you're asking a general guidance fundamental question, my SLA, as per contract, is 24 hours. Right? So we see that when you ask a fundamental question, it can take up to 3 or 4 days of back and forth between support and the person, just because the person didn't know how to answer a particular question. Just to put a context, you're wasting so much of time, right? I mean, if you're going to support, you're going back and forth, and then support is saying, hey, look at that document, page number 4, this is the process to do that. You could have done that yourself if you had taken a course on training of that, right? Moving back here, I just want to say that, we have huge amount of content which is available from our training and certification team, which is digital classroom. We do hands-on labs and all. But we also have realized that another thing that we saw which was missing is that there's a lot of talent that is coming in. There's a lot of churn that happens in the industry continuously. And to my surprise, I've met many CTOs, CIOs across organizations. There does not seem to be a good learning path that is built for the new talent that's coming in. Okay, and that's where we have partnered with our training and certification team here to now start creating what is called as a customer's own embarkment. So when you hire somebody, we want to give you a 6-week, very clear digital path of the kind of persona that you're getting into. See, you're becoming a database engineer. What should you learn in the next 6 weeks to be able to operate well on the cloud? If you're becoming, say, a DevOps engineer, what you should necessarily know before you move to cloud. Right? So these are the few things that we have built and we are experimenting with. We'll launch it I think in about a month from now, and would like to partner with all of you.